Yo, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to the show. My name is Angel Lorenzana, and then I got my co-host over here,
Rafa. Welcome to the Taco Sandwich, and today we have a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Möth.
How you doing today, Möth?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Chilling. Yeah, how's your day been? How's life been?
Life's been pretty groovy recently, man. You know, making big moves,
Nice.
trying
How
to.
so?
Getting back into the working field, getting big into the comedy community.
Nice.
Trying to make a name in that. So, you know.
Nice.
Excellent. For how long you been trying comedy?
So up here, I've been doing comedy for about 2 months, but I actually did stand up off and on in Midland for about 3 to 4 years. So I've got a little bit of experience in it.
Okay.
On and off for 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And how's the scene out there?
Scene out there is pretty decent. I actually quit because the guy that I did stand up with tried to unalive me. So kind of put a setback in my comedy a little bit. But I came out here. I met some really great people. Reintroduced me to it. Chris Heiss is the main person that actually convinced me to get back up on stage. So
Nice. Chris Heiss is supportive as fuck.
we love Chris.
Yeah.
She'll be crazy, but he's alright.
Isn't there an open mic that we go to, or is there a show that we go to out there in Midland?
They have the Eccentric Brewery.
Okay. And
Yeah.
that's what every
But
month?
now it's called Flat Records for a very reason, and it's like the last Saturday of every month.
Okay.
It's run by Jay Graham.
Did you ever check that out?
I don't think that I did. I don't think that was in my time frame for being in Midland.
Okay.
As well as doing comedy in that time frame.
Yeah. All right.
What was the name of the place, or where you guys did the open mics?
So it kind of jumped around from a couple of different places. I cannot remember the bars off the top of my
I
head.
went to one place called the Rose or something like that.
I guess the Rose was one of the
Was one of
places.
them? Okay, I
Yeah.
did
So the
open mic
Rose
there.
did open
Uh-huh.
mics. What was it? Every Tuesday, I believe it was.
Okay.
So shout out to the Rose. They're great people over there. Bartenders are super nice.
Yeah, we also did the DoubleTree Resort Hotel, where they have like a balcony on the third or fourth floor.
That sounds familiar. I don't think that I actually ever performed out there,
there's
but
a small bar in the black area of Midland, but I can't remember the freaking name to save my life. But I did a show there with a Chonoff also.
okay.
So that was not part of it.
I don't think so. I don't think that I
Who
ever.
do you remember as comedians from over there? Give me a couple of names.
Honestly, that was such a blur of time for me.
So you hate them and you don't even want to mention them.
No, it's
Fuck
not.
the Midland comedians. Lubbock is the best.
No, Lubbock is the best.
Well.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I've hung out with people here a lot more than I interacted with people out there.
And you see, to me, that's kind of special, and that's what makes the difference.
Yeah.
The camaraderie, the thing that we just don't just do the comedy, that we hang around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of comedy, that
Yeah.
we get to know each other a lot better and stuff like that. And we very supportive of each other. I believe
Very much
this
so.
group that we have is very welcome, especially the new blood.
Oh,
out there.
absolutely. Always want new talent coming in so new people can laugh at your jokes.
There you go.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from Houston originally, Pasadena, Texas.
Oh, from big city.
Big
Okay.
city.
A lot of community.
A lot of community out there. I grew up mostly out there from like elementary to middle school range, and then I moved to a really small town called Crockett, and I was there for junior high, and then high school I moved back outside of Houston, and I was in Alvin until I moved to Midland, and then from Midland I'm here.
You always have the goth kind of a look to yourself. Is this something that you evolve into it? Tell me about it.
It's evolved a lot more over the years, definitely. But it is something that I kind of introduced into my look. I'd say maybe like my last year of high school, a lot heavier whenever I moved out to Midland as well. Just kind of embraced it a lot more, started playing around with makeup, figuring out what felt comfortable to me, and what I like seeing myself in.
Cool. I like it. It's super
Nice.
cool. Very, very, very nice.
So if you don't mind me asking, you have a significant tattoo that stands out right there. What is that?
So this is actually the Norse rune for good luck. I kind of make jokes about it. I have shit luck tattooed above my knee.
Okay.
So I've kind of canceled it out by getting the rune on my face. And then I also have lucky rabbit's foot tattooed underneath that.
Okay.
So I feel like it cancels out the shit luck part.
How would you explain your luck?
It's a lot better now, but whenever I first got the tattoo in 2018, immediately after I started going through a rough patch with one of my roommates, the same man that attempted to unalive me. And so I call it my shitty good luck charm because I'm not dead, but like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. You see, I was gonna get the same tattoo that you have on this side.
Yeah.
When I remember I used to see the Popeye, the cartoon, so I was gonna get mine on the shoulder and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad he didn't do it because as you go by, you know, I have different tastes of tattoos.
Right.
And that's kind of a permanent, you know what I mean?
I feel like I should have waited for a lot of my tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was around 16, and I got them in a shady apartment.
You got a fake ID and shit like that?
No. I just found an adult that that wasn't that wasn't good at tattooing, but had a tattoo machine and would do tattoos for cheap. So
wow. Okay.
Shout out to him. I hope he's doing bad in life.
Ruin people's life like that, bro. Come on.
I mean, he took my design for one of my tattoos and actually tattooed it on 2 pedophiles in that town. So now I want to get that covered up. So it just sucks for everybody involved, man.
Okay. Did you get into piercing also later on besides the tattoos?
The piercings were a little bit later on. I got my septum pierced when I was like 17. Shout out to my mom for taking me.
Where's that part of the?
That's my
Okay. I thought it was something else. All right.
No.
Well, I don't know what you told your thing. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
17 when I got my septum, and then 18 when I got my vertical labret, and then everything else was actually a semi-recent development. I got 5 piercings in one sitting.
And let me ask you something. Is that a sexual thing or is it just for the look?
It's just for the look.
Just for the look.
Yeah,
okay.
so
it's kind of like a vampire type of thing.
I like the alternative. So these are called angel fangs. So I like making them look like little fangs, you know? That's why I add the spikes to it. The tattoo is this hairless cat that I have on my arm. And that's the design that he stole from me and continued to use it on other people.
Okay.
Nice. All right. So like I feel like this is one of those episodes because the reason I feel like a lot of what's really good about this podcast is that like we record it and like videos somewhat forever, especially you put it in the internet, you know what I mean? So like how do I ask this question? Like what would your message be to yourself when you were a kid? Or what would you tell yourself?
A message to myself whenever I was a kid, I think would genuinely just hang out with better people.
Yeah. Hang
out with better people. Don't be so hard on yourself on such a consistent basis. When you grow up, you're pretty fucking cool, man. And you got a really good community around you, and you've got people that care about you and want to see you prosper. I found a community that actually helps my garden grow instead of mowing over my flowers to plant their own seeds. And so being a part of that, I'm truly gracious. Like I love the community that I've built out here.
So basically just hang in there.
Hang in there.
You'll make it.
Shit's gonna be all right pretty soon.
That's super cool. Now, earlier I was talking to you about your boyfriend.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about him. How did you guys get to know each other? How did you guys hook up?
So I actually met him on Hinge. We had a date at, oh my God, what fucking, was that a taco place? Actually, our first date was at a taco place. Fitting. But yeah, we met on Hinge, had a really good conversation from there, and it just fell into a consistency where we wanted to hang out with each other a lot, and so it turned into that, okay, let's do exclusive, and now we're here. We just hit a month together, the 6th of this month, so we're almost to 2 months.
Almost to 2 months.
Almost to 2 months.
You forgot to mention something very important about him. That's what, I'm sorry, but I'm the one who asked the fucked up questions. So, how's your love life and all that? Which that's me. Okay, that's my job. So you mentioned to forget something very important about him.
So my boyfriend is an amputee. He lost his leg in a pretty fucked up forklift accident about 2 years ago, which is actually why he moved out to Plainview, which is how we connected. So grateful for that. I'm grateful for him moving out here and me meeting him. Not grateful for him losing his leg. Come on now. I mean, it does make it a little bit easier if he tries to run away from me. I can just steal his leg. You're
not going anywhere. All right.
But yeah, Joshua is a really amazing guy. Shout out to him. I know he's gonna watch this later and probably make fun of me.
When you meet someone, and this is just from outside, when you meet someone and they're missing something, something that big, I'm not just talking about a little piece of meat or whatever. No. Isn't that give you like a little like hesitation, like a little like wait a second?
Not at all, actually. So there's
I completely agree with you.
I'm just trying to look
as a regular person, I'm like, skip past. You know,
so
I don't know.
As somebody who suffers from a disability of my own, having Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and knowing that even within the next couple of years that I could be wheelchair bound because of that, I look past things like that, because at the end of the day, it's how somebody treats me, and it's how somebody makes me feel. And if that person makes me happy, no matter what parts they're missing, what extra parts they have, whatever.
Wouldn't he need 2 legs to push you on the wheelchair? Wouldn't that be a little better?
My arms can still work. My arms, electric wheelchairs.
Electric cars, race each other.
Electric wheelchairs. Turn it into bumper cars.
Either way, they're gonna have fun, so don't worry about it.
Every day. Right. Get to skip all the lines at Disney because we're disabled. Come on.
That's benefits, yeah.
Benefits, handicap parking.
Rafa used to work at Disney. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know
Disney
that.
World.
Yeah,
what did you do at Disney?
Didn't do much, to tell you the truth. I used to work in what they call merchantainment. I was in charge of a couple of stores right there at the Disney Gym Studios.
Okay.
And then later on, I started working in security. While I was undercover security and stuff like that. So
I feel like security is fitting for you, big man.
Yeah, scary.
I liked it.
Guy.
Right.
They thought I was working for the cartel. That I was undercover there. And shit like
but since the first time I met you, I was just like, aw. I've never been intimidated or scared by you. You've just always been really nice to me.
I like to be a nice person. So what else what talents do you have? I know you're a very talented person besides comedy. What else you got?
So I like to draw. I've actually designed a few of my tattoos. I do a lot of artwork when I go through, I suffer with psychosis, so I have borderline personality disorder.
Psychosis, oh wow.
So it puts my mind into these episodes where everything is all over the place consistently. I have hallucinations, I see things. And so I've actually started pouring that into artwork.
And you use that as an inspiration?
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of materials do you use? Are you talking oil, water, colors? What?
I like doing paints, like oil painting, watercolors.
Are they scary? Kind of like mysterious?
So a lot of, I call it Nightmare I Spy, because it's like
that's super cool.
It's like a collage of just everything that's going on through my brain. And so it's just every time you look at it, there's something new that you can see on the page. Because it's just a collage.
Do you have can you tell us where people can find your artwork and somewhere in social media?
So all of my artwork is actually going to be posted on my Facebook, which is going to be Möth Moir. I also do have an Instagram, which I need to pull up my name on.
That's
because
fine. Don't take your time. I want to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that sounds very, very cool.
I can send it to you as well, because there's a few things that I've done recently that I haven't posted yet.
Cool.
So my Instagram handle is going to be XX Ringworms XX. It's going to be a U instead of an O on the worms. Ringworms.
No, you got to say XX, you know.
XX, you know. I will be posting a lot more of my artwork out there once I get a little bit better at actually recording my comedy. I'd also like to start putting some of my sets of that up. Once I feel a lot more confident in my recordings. Right now I'm sending it mostly to like friends and family.
I get it.
I kind of like to test my jokes out on them, see how they like it first. My mom is one of my biggest supporters. So she doesn't like some of my jokes, which I get it, but
it's funny because I used to test some of my shit with my wife, and my wife was like, that's what I knew that was a good one, right?
Right. That's the one you write down and put a check next to.
Like,
exactly. I like leaving the crowd a little bit worried that I might go home and do something if they don't laugh at the jokes that I tell.
Okay. Well, that's kind of extreme.
So I have a question. So the very first time you did an open mic, what made you make the decision to sign up for that? day, or were you thinking about it for some time before that, or was it something that just happened like in the moment?
It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Definitely, I wasn't planning on doing it that night. Same way I wasn't planning on doing it the first time that I came into the Lantern.
Okay.
But then just talking back and forth with Chris and him hyping me up and telling me how funny I was and telling me to get back on stage, that kind of pushed me to do that. But my first open mic in Midland was definitely just a spur of the moment. Yeah. My ex-roommate had convinced me to do it, so
how did that go?
Jumped on it. I bombed. Yeah. I bombed so bad. Yeah, it was so bad.
Because usually I see the opposite all the time. It's like beginner's luck. They fucking knocked it out of the park. I'm like, how the fuck did they do that? That wasn't me on my first time.
No, absolutely not. I bombed. Wow. I remember just trembling so bad, and none of my jokes landed. I couldn't remember the punchlines to any of them, so a lot of it was just rambling, and then I'd be like, anyway, and then we'd move on from that. And the open mics out there actually run for 8 minutes, and they try to encourage you to push for that entire 8 minutes to fill the night. And so it's just very like on the spot kind of thing. You got to be funny for 8 minutes.
Many comedians thing because
not whenever I was doing
sometimes
it.
Even 4 minutes.
Yeah,
you got to move on because there's a huge list behind you.
Yeah.
I bombed my first time too.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually looked like I was gonna bomb the place. I had a green hoodie on and I had sunglasses on because I guess I wanted to like, I don't know, whatever was gonna help me not be so nervous.
Right.
I kind of had the similar thing because I wear a hoodie, a black hoodie with a face mask, you know, the ones we use for COVID. And I was basically trying to protect my identity, to tell you, because of what the shit that I was gonna say was really fucked up.
Right.
And it was trembling just like you. I had my piece of paper and I couldn't read it because my hands were shaking so much.
Yeah.
And I was Rafa the rapist. That was my character that I was playing.
Where was it?
Oh no.
That was a backstage. That's because I don't know if you remember when Trump said that, you know, all Mexicans were rapists and shit like that. That's when I went with that shit. I'm like, oh yeah, you call me rapist. Now I'm gonna be that rapist.
Now I'm gonna just embrace it.
That's what I use. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was nervous as fuck. But I didn't bomb though. I was nervous as fuck. I was trembling or whatever, but somehow
that has to be funny, yeah.
Somehow it worked and people liked it, and it's like, okay.
Okay. I mean, as long as it works. No, I bombed really bad my first time. I didn't bomb so bad my first time up here. I did have a couple, like the night that we had the tornado at Bar PM, I bombed so hard. But it wasn't feeling the crowd. There was like 4 or 5 people that weren't comedians, so everybody else has already heard my content. So it was just getting onto the stage and my brain having that mentality of like, well, what's the point of even trying to be funny? But I feel like I get better every week. I feel like improve.
I have actually recommended that to some of the comedians. If you're not ready, if you don't have the good vibe, the good energy, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it to the audience. Don't do it to yourself. There's no need for it. You're just going to make yourself feel like shit, and it's just going to have consequences. You know what I mean?
Especially not here,
just take a step back. Just take a step back. Not tonight, and you're good. And that's it.
And I mean, everybody's really understanding on that.
Yeah.
And I think what Rafa is saying would makes a lot of sense here in Lubbock, because you got a lot of the same people going to the same open mics every week, audience and the people that sign up.
Yeah.
You're tired, you're depressed, you're in a bad bitchy mood, whatever the fuck is, if you don't have it in you, please take a step back. Don't do that to yourself.
Or to the crowd, realistically. Because I mean, if you go up there with bad vibes, people are gonna feed off of that, and they're gonna understand like, hey,
and the show's gonna suck. The show's gonna suffer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a loss.
But in a bigger city like in Austin or where I used to live in California, like I could go to an open mic and just fucking bomb my dick off, and like it'll be all right because nobody's
right. It's not going to be the same people next week, and nobody's going to remember it.
Live though. In a big city, in a big city, they don't fuck around. They'll boo you and they'll make you feel this little.
If I got booed off stage, I don't think I could ever do it again.
What I'm saying is that like you're not going to go back the next week and
you're not going to see the same people.
Right.
Yeah, but here we have it. When we had Selena on, this is what she was kind of saying is that we're a little bit spoiled because we're all like kind of just our little crew, our little circle, and you know what I mean. So that's where they pick people to book the shows from. Well, you know, sometimes there's still comedians that like don't go to the open mics,
right,
and still get put on shows, which I don't believe in personally. But I don't book shows. Well, now I do. But anyways, but what she was saying that we kind of have it spoiled here, where like we're in a little bubble. You know what I mean? So like, I would say I don't think some people don't take it as seriously as they should, just because it's so like we're such in a small town and a little bubble.
And it's consistent.
And it's like. And so it's like something to do for fun, or just
right.
But I don't like, for me, I don't think I do it for fun. I do it because I want to get good at doing stand-up.
Right, absolutely.
To me, it's not a hobby. It's not for fun. It's an art form that I want to practice to get. It could be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't do it just because I want to go have fun, so I'm gonna go do open mic. You know.
Right.
It's like a craft that I want to like get good at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us something about yourself that people don't usually know.
Honestly, there's not a lot that people don't know about me because of my borderline personality disorder. I'll talk to anybody and everybody that'll listen, about anything that I've been through in my past, anything that I'm going through currently. So it's just,
okay, so let me throw a question. How many boyfriends have you had?
How many, what have I had? Boyfriends? Ooh.
How many lovers?
Are we counting like
Serious
just real, serious relationships?
The ones you would count, I guess.
Okay, so.
Do we need a calculator?
No.
Okay.
I'd say that serious relationships I've had about 4 in my life.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because with every relationship, I like longevity. I don't like quick relationships.
Longevity in which way? Which direction?
Like, I like doing years. It's end goal for me.
Sorry.
No, not. Size doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, size doesn't matter. Okay.
No, but I like doing years in relationships. And I actually told my current boyfriend that this is my last relationship or my first felony charge. And it's completely up to him which way that goes.
Okay, wow, that's how you.
He thought it was funny. He thought it was funny, so it worked. Exactly. If he didn't laugh at
like
that,
a nervous laugh.
No. It was that was a pretty like from the stomach chuckle. Right. Laugh about it. No, listen, I look feral. I'm not feral.
Okay. I kind of like that. That's super cool. So you're telling me you do you do all your artwork and stuff like that. Do you have any musical talents, anything like that? Do you play something?
No, actually, I don't play anything. I like to think that I can sing. I believe I
at
karaoke. At Adolph's. Shout out to Adolph's and the DJs out there. We love them. But yeah, I like to think that I have musical talent as far as like my voice goes. It's definitely different when it's just me sitting in a car recording myself on my phone than it is going to karaoke and doing it in a crowd. It's a lot like comedy in that aspect of I'm trying to get to that point where I'm not as shaky on stage. I'm a lot more confident in myself. I'm a lot more comfortable with what I'm doing, and finding my proper range now, because I've definitely dropped octaves in my voice since like high school, whenever I was really into it. So
what kind of music, what kind of songs, what style is the one that fits you?
So I found actually that
we have a rapper over there, I know you know, so we can have a rap battle if you want.
See, I like rapping, but I think my voice sounds stupid when I do it. I found that the best fit actually for me is country music, which is really really surprising because look at me.
Exactly.
Which is it's a little bit unfortunate because I don't like a lot of country music. I call that Yallternative.
Okay.
I grew up in a kind of really small town. I grew up on 6 acres. I had a farm. I was outside every day.
Okay.
That kind of situation. Raised chickens, peacocks. So.
Do you paint their nails black for the chickens and shit like
yes,
that?
Yes. My dogs. They all have painted nails. We match.
Okay.
Not right now, but.
That's very interesting. I wish I can hear something like that, like country goth.
Right.
Super cool.
I listen to a wide variety of music. Country has always kind of been a staple in my playlist, just because it reminds me really heavily of my grandfather, listening to like the oldies, Johnny Cash, and Johnny Cash was absolutely one of my favorites. But I found that the deeper octave songs, ones that I'm not focusing so heavy on range and more so on just the lyrics itself, I find that I do a lot better in those, just because it's a lot more comforting. It's a lot slower paced. I find myself doing better with slower paced songs.
Gotcha. Oh shit. That's your work. Are you okay over there with the mic?
Yeah.
Is it attacking you or something like the fly is being attacking
the fly?
her?
Yeah, the fly is bugging me. I don't know what it is.
Does my mic sound good?
Fly in the studio.
Producer guy? What is it?
Producer guy.
Producer
Daniel.
guy.
Jesus.
Damn. Can't even remember names.
Wow.
What have any okay, so two-part question.
Yes.
When you were a kid or growing up or whatever,
yeah.
what was your dream career? What did you want to be? And then also currently, what is same question for currently?
So I wanted to be a veterinarian growing up. I quickly fell out of that because I realized that I would have to like euthanize animals. And more so just that mentality of a little kid of being like, oh, I just get to play with animals all day. Yeah. Growing up, I actually do still want to be in the animal field. So I actually do a little bit of service dog training. I trained one of my dogs already. Currently training the puppy as well to perform the tasks that I require and things like that. So
is this like self-taught or like is it something that you were taught to do?
So completely self-taught. A lot of YouTube videos.
I'm
right
for just learning shit.
I'm super autistic, and so I throw myself into any hyperfixation. My biggest ones have been animals and CBD. If the animal field doesn't work out, then CBD is definitely something that I want to get back into. I've managed a couple of different shops, and it's a beautiful aspect seeing people be able to get the medical help that they desire without having to stuff themselves full of pills that have these nasty long-term side effects. And coming from somebody that grew up with a father that was addicted to painkillers, I watched firsthand what it can do to destroy a person's mentality, a person's body. And so finding that natural alternative that genuinely helps people, definitely long-term goal.
Let me tell you a story about when I was working on Disney World. Now that you're mentioning something like that, Disney World, they have what they call the Animal Kingdom. So they don't want to call it a zoo, but you have a zoo.
Yeah, right?
yeah. But they also have like an animal hospital because they treat all the animals there.
Yes.
And I remember we used to have a number whenever we saw an animal that was hurt, we used to call this number. So we thought or was under the impression there will be like an ambulance kind of a thing for animals, right, and they will get paramedics and to stabilize the patient or put him on there and take him to the hospital or whatever. There was this flying bat, the ones that jump from one palm tree to another one. They kind of glide in the air because they got this thing.
Sugar gliders,
I don't know.
Or
I could be wrong, but I know that they're flying,
right,
but they're actually jumping and they glide from one tree to another one.
Okay.
Well, this sucker, I don't know if he was drunk or not or whatever, he didn't make it to the palm tree and just squash all the way down. Exactly. So we called the number. We're kind of keeping an eye on we put a little tower or something to make people want to step on the animal. And pickup truck, pull up on the side of the road and this guy come out with a canvas bag.
Yeah.
And a stick. And he took up the towel that was on top of the Michelle bat, and then he hit it with a stick, and then he put it in the bag, and that was it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I feel like that's not the proper procedure. I feel like
I was thinking it was going to be an ambulance and a whole procedure.
What kind of animal was it?
A bat, a flying bat.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
crazy.
I guess he said, no, this guy's not going to make it anyway. So
oh, man.
They should have
him up, put him in the bag, and took him.
They should have had like a doctor in a Mickey outfit, like a surgeon.
Listening to the heart. No, that's it.
I mean, I get it. If it was suffering, like put it out of its misery. But like, if there was potential,
it took him 2 seconds to decide
assess it. Yeah, no, I feel like there should have been a lengthier process for that.
Yeah, me too.
That's
at least pretend,
right. Check for the pulse. I mean, is there any signs of life? No. Okay, whack it with a stick.
Right.
Do something. Wow.
Let's go.
That is insane.
Well, what you're telling them about the animals, that's what I.
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up from my 3 years in middle school. Is that what it is? I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I've been in school. No, that wasn't until high school.
Okay.
But no, I grew up farm life, so I saw it all. I saw snakes getting killed in the chicken coop. I saw our chickens getting killed by snakes. Untrained farm dog killing my ducks, things like that. So I'm not a stranger to it by any means, but should have been a lengthier process.
Oh, definitely. No, I agree with you completely. Like I said, I was surprised. I was like, oh wow, okay. So besides the veterinarian, what else do you want it to be?
Honestly, that's the kind of the only life goals that I have right now is either getting back into the CBD industry or doing something with animals. It's my biggest 2 passions aside from comedy. I don't see myself making a career out of comedy just because same way for my artwork, I don't like turning something that I genuinely think is fun and I'm using it as like a stress relief, as therapy type. I don't want to turn that into a career because I feel like it puts a damper on me and I can't do exactly what I want to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this applies to like most people that try to do comedy. Like I think if your goal is to like make money, or if your goal is even to be famous, then if that's your goal, then you already made the first mistake.
Right.
Expecting anything.
Right. Expecting anything from any of it.
Yeah. There's people that work at certain levels in their brain though that kind of just nail whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And,
and I have the utmost respect for people like that. It's not me.
Yeah.
I have to work at a craft to get to that point that I'm 100% confident in what I do.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite comedians as you growing up?
So growing up, I didn't actually have a lot of influence in comedy. Comedy came to me a lot later in life, more so around the high school area. I'll say my biggest inspiration for comedy, my favorite comedian, top one is always going to be Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham.
Oh, Burnham. Okay.
So he's damn good artist. He's the one that got me into it as far as like trying to write down my own jokes, and then seeing the Inside special, which is the special that he recorded himself through COVID. I started watching it and I'm expecting like, okay, he hasn't put out anything in 5 years. I'm ready for this. Like, this is going to be funny. It's going to be my little light in the peak of the pandemic. And it's just watching that slow deterioration from what isolation does to a person, and just seeing how he still turned that into something, creating content from that and making everybody else laugh whenever you're at a point where you can't do it for yourself. I think that's really, really inspirational, and I think that's something extremely brave to do, to come out of hiding after 5 years, after having like extreme anxiety issues on stage, coming back and putting out an entire special that you worked on yourself for over a year. It's incredible.
I think he first got noticed from making his own videos, like comedy skits.
Yeah, so that's like actually how I found him. I found him through YouTube.
And then this is but I think he was making stuff even before YouTube existed.
Yeah.
I think he was one of the first big YouTubers.
He was, yeah. Okay. So I think it was New Math actually was the first video that he put out over on YouTube, and it was just him in his room, like on his little keyboard, no sound production. It is what it is, and it's phenomenal work. Absolutely phenomenal work.
I think he wanted to be. His goal was to be an actor, I believe.
Yeah.
He wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
But he was really funny, like in his skits and stuff, and I think somehow he just kind of stumbled into, I could be wrong, but he kind of like stumbled into doing stand-up.
Yeah, I feel like I wasn't a stage presence thing at first. I think it was strictly supposed to be like an online thing, and then it just fell into, well, I can have a presence in this. And
have you seen his movie that he made? Fuck, I forgot the name.
He made a movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, God, what is it? It's the one where he's like he's like
there's a part where he's in a band.
Yeah.
Is it something Stone?
Something goes to school. What? I don't remember. Hold on. It's
a very underrated
Yeah, it was on Netflix, wasn't it?
I believe so at one point. But I remember it being pretty funny. I went down a whole rabbit hole of Bo Burnham, like looking up like his timeline and stuff, and and then his recent Netflix special was pretty interesting.
I'd like to see him put out more stuff, and that's not me saying that I feel like he should, or I feel entitled, or anybody is entitled to any of his work. But Zach Stone is going to be famous. That's what the movie was. Okay, now that we're past that, yeah.
And then he does stuff like behind the scenes, because I remember I was watching Chris Rock's latest special on Netflix.
Yeah,
you know, he filmed it live. And at the end of it, it said produced by Bo Burnham. And I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So he's a producer now, okay.
Yeah, but he does like a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of stuff in the, well, this is what it seems like. He's doing stuff in the background, like for like production.
I know I've seen him,
like
but I'm not too familiar with him.
Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It's kind of like a new guy for me. I'm old school.
Yeah. I get you.
And, you know, some other old comedians that.
And he also plays music too.
Yeah, he's a musical comedian.
Music is very is like a big part of his act, his performance too. Yeah.
And some people talk shit about that, about using music in comedy, because
I feel like
he does it good though.
Yeah, I feel like you have to do it well in order to do things like that. It's a certain niche that it has to be portrayed just right, otherwise it just doesn't land the correct way.
Okay, gotcha. How about music-wise? Who's the people that you listen to?
Oh man, groups, that's a lot. I listen to a lot of LGBTQ artists actually. Some of my biggest are mostly like trap rap artists. Isbroki is one of my.
They have to be gay, otherwise.
Yeah, if they're not gay, it's not good music. And to me.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a fib. But I like Isbroki. That's definitely one of the staples in my playlist. The Bridge City Sinners. Days and Days, shout out to Days and Days. I love them as people, genuinely. I've actually gotten to hang out with them. The Shit Luck tattoo is actually matching with one of the band members.
Wow.
So they're from Houston.
That's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're folk punk, which is cool. Yeah, absolutely. They play like washboards and like wash buckets with a broom handle and like a string attached to make like a bass guitar. Okay. It's crazy talent, but they're genuinely like great people, super nice, but one of the staples in my playlist for sure.
Have you heard of Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains?
Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains, very nice people as well.
You met them?
Once.
So you met the singer Pat the Bunny?
Pat the Bunny.
Really?
He's been in like 6 other bands.
Yeah, well, I like his solo stuff that he does.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really cool.
Solos are some of my favorites. Rail Yard Ghost, that's definitely another top. The Bridge City Sinners are another folk punk. We the Heathens. I'm missing one. I know I am. Pat the Bunny, but but yeah, folk punk. I discovered folk punk in high school, and that's kind of one thing that I've never fallen off from my music. My playlists have always changed around, but especially Days and Days will always have a place in my playlist. A lot of their songs genuinely mean a lot to me now as an adult too. After going through my own active addiction issues and having friends die on me and things like that, it's it definitely I think heals a part of me to not feel so lonely in that. Because a lot of things can turn into that isolation, and that isolation just turns into nobody else has had this experience but me. And then you go out and you talk to people and you discover music and you discover that no situation is unique to yourself. Somebody else out there has gone through the exact same thing.
Well, there's so many millions of humans out there that we of course we have something more than one thing in common. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's a beautiful thing, that even in trauma, it can be something that can unite us and bring us closer together. Just going through tragedy, going through something fucked up, and being able to talk about that and grow from that, and build community from that as well.
And to me, to tell you now that you're mentioning music transports me into a different spot, into
absolutely,
a different area, different dimension, where it makes me remember stuff.
Music is therapeutic.
Stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in those moments where like you have to relive things that aren't amazing, even if you break down from that, you're still growing from it at the end.
No, that's so cool that you mentioned that, because even if it's a sad song,
yeah,
that it hits you right here. Don't you feel like sometimes you're enjoying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's
suffering. You listen to the whole thing. You go to your emotions and stuff like that.
It's a release.
Feels good at the end.
Definitely. Yeah. I think everybody should cry every once in a while. I don't think anybody should hold back on the emotions that they feel, because we don't know how long we're gonna be here. I think everybody should feel everything the way that they're meant to.
That's what I told Angel. I mean, it's okay. You cry when you're having sex. When you come, that's okay, bro. You gotta live.
I mean, if you're crying during sex, if you're crying during sex, it's either really bad or it's really good.
Nothing wrong with it, Angel. Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it.
But I seen something recently, and it seemed like it makes sense. And they were saying that certain frequencies and notes in music actually have like health benefits, like medical health benefits.
So
like
I actually would use.
Like, as you release your whatever you call them.
I would actually use different frequency. Compilation videos on YouTube whenever my wisdom teeth were coming in and I don't have health insurance, so I was just dealing with the pain from that and like them breaking off and stuff. I would use the exactly that. I would use those different frequencies, and it actually does help alleviate that pain.
Cool.
Wow, I would have never thought of doing that. So you too.
Shout out to Maya for introducing me to that, because I would have never known.
And is it special songs or it's not even a song?
It's not even like songs. It's just frequencies. Yeah. So they have like compilation videos on YouTube that it's different frequencies for like different pains and things like that. So like migraine pain, toothache pain. Right. I would have never thought about something like that, but
a lot of like guided meditation videos or audio use those different noises.
Do you meditate, by the way?
Not anymore. You
used to?
I used to. Back when my brain was a lot quieter, and I could actually just sit and not think about anything. But my brain is pretty much on a constant. Even whenever I'm laying down, going to sleep, even while I am asleep, it's consistently running. Yeah, never stops.
How about you, Angel? Did you meditate?
Do I meditate? No, I have
you
before,
ever done it?
Huh?
Have you ever done it?
Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah.
Okay.
I try to get in the habit of like having like a quiet time in the morning. It's kind of like meditating, but it's like instead of getting on your phone right away or you know what I mean, doing anything you do normally, you just make sure you reserve some time just to sit there and kind of have just a moment, like a quiet meditative moment, even a prayer if you want to do that too. But I don't do it. I've done it before, but I heard that it's kind of a good thing to do where you kind of where you wake up and you kind of tell God or whatever is your God, you kind of like you know, help me or guide me, and then before you go to bed it's kind of like thank you to the world, to the universe, whatever you believe in.
I actually read recently that whenever it says that humans are supposed to get 8 hours of rest, that's not necessarily meaning 8 hours of sleep. So the actual recommended amount of sleep is 6 hours, and then taking those 2 extra hours to read, to meditate, to sit and just rest. And so I think that's why a lot of people, even after like getting that 8 hours of sleep, you're waking up, you're still feeling exhausted, you're still feeling groggy. It's because we're not built to have that consistency like that.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So one more time, what's your social medias? Anything you want to put out there?
So Instagram is going to be XX Ringworms XX with a U instead of an O. And then my Facebook is going to be Möth Moir. It should pull up if you just look it up regular. But Moth is actually spelt with the German O. So it's pronounced Möth, only on Facebook and only to Morgan. Only person that calls me that. Those are my main 2 handles. I'm trying to get a lot better about actually being active on Instagram. But I do try to post pretty consistently on Facebook, even if it's just shit posting. I'll make you laugh.
Well, I will say it's been nice, like having you as a new member of our little clique that we got going on. But I guess one thing I would want to say as advice too is just even try to do, if you know, all of us, that's what we have in common is do stand-up comedy. Like even try to, I would say like don't rely on that circle. I would say try to branch out and just try to do things in other places whenever you get an opportunity.
Yeah,
to,
absolutely,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
'Cause I noticed that's what. Because there's some people that we see at the open mics that don't really even hang out with us at all.
Yeah.
And they're doing like these shows that I don't even know about.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
So I feel like it helps to take that healthy space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and like
build opportunities elsewhere. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've always said that you get out of comedy as much as you invest in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so in order to get, like you said, those shows out there, well, you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't make those connections with other people who do other shows, you're never going to come out from where you are.
It's all about talking to people. It's all about building connections. I mean, I get to host one of the Curse Days next month because I talked to Morgan and I was like, hey, put me and Cameo on as host. And so now we get to do that next month.
Oh, so both of you are going to be
yeah,
hosting.
we're going to be co-hosting together because Morgan's going to be in Europe.
Yeah. No, because I've seen you guys interact. So
Absolutely.
You guys are very good at
it's very good energy. We bounce off of each other very easily.
Exactly.
So I feel like we'll make pretty damn good hosts that night.
Nice.
I can't wait to see that. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
July 4th, come out.
Nice. So how about this? You got a last take you want to do? Something you want to say to the world or people you know, or
Something deep.
Just
Something that will transcend. Something where anybody sees this Taco Sandwich podcast again will say, remember that mouth girl?
she's just like, fuck, oh yeah.
With a black lipstick.
no, so
and
I'll actually get a little deep with it for a moment. I firmly believe in the No Kings movement. I'm a firm believer in women having choices for themselves. Extremely pro-choice. Extremely do whatever the fuck you want to do as long as it's not hurting yourself or other people. We are reaching a point in our country and as just a human race where we're so destructive and so evil towards each other, and there's just no reason for it. At the end of the day, we all bleed red and we're all the same people and we all deserve compassion and love and caring for one another.
Nice.
That was deep.
Anything else?
Also, free Palestine, free Gaza. I won't go to fucking war for Israel.
Anything else, Rafa? You got?
No, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I was very happy with our guest tonight.
Do you got anything coming up? Any shows? Oh, you plugged you're hosting the Thursday,
plug in.
Thursday, so.
It's gonna be Thursday. Stipulations are you got to show up in a wig if you don't already have long hair. Rafa, you'll be fine.
I was getting warm. I had a wig.
No, that's all right. Angel, I got a wig you can borrow. It's all right.
It has to match my grays. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end it there. Peace out, y'all.
Thank y'all for having me. Good night.
Great. That was awesome.
Taco sandwich!